now we are countries and separate countries. Yeah, even that. But this doesn't make us less human, and it doesn't justify our attitude towards what's happening.
Who is actually benefiting from this conflict? What kind of conflict are we talking about anyway? Who is architecting this war that we are calling civil war?
My background is in the airline industry, so working for one of the biggest airlines, I could tell you that people from African background who travel, they never. I'm from Congo. I've lived in London for like 19 years. I am the founder of Getiback.com, which is a claims management agency specializing in passengers claims. So the most common thing is when your flight is delayed, your baggage is lost, or you have an issue with your airline. I help my client get money from airlines. So it's like, as I can quote it, free money, so compensation. So worldwide. So that's what I'm doing. And then my mission is to democratize the claim process. So to make it accessible to people worldwide, to the most vulnerable people worldwide, especially I'm from Africa and my background is in the airline industry. So working for one of the biggest airline, I could tell you that people from African background who travel, they never claim and they never claim for their rights. So they must have a lost baggage or canceled flight. They don't bother claiming, or even sometimes they try to claim, but they don't follow the process to get exactly what is theirs. And yes, this is a bit about me. I'm like I said earlier that I'm from Congo, and as you might already know, what's happening in the Central African region with the aggression of Rwanda. Yes, they have come into Congo actually. Like now, I think apparently they have seized a town which is Goma in the eastern of Congo, and you know as well that Congo has been bleeding for many decades, and it's been happening since. I'm not even going to go back to King Leopold, and to the 60s. So it's just this cycle that we're going through in a region, which should concern Africa as a whole as well, because Congo is a very strategic place for all of us, even for humanity. So
Thank you so much for that, Eme. I appreciate this conversation that we are starting today because we're going to really have a long conversation. It's not the first time we are talking about Congo here, because Congo is a vital part of the whole of Africa and the whole of humanity, like you say. You are absolutely right. Congo is a vital part of the human history. So we did an episode here looking at the King Leopoldo and the impact that he has had on the Congolese people. And then, of course, you can also think of names like Patrice Lumumba, what happened to him, looking at how the Belgians have captured Congo, the mutilation, the humiliation, the genocide that have happened for years and years and years.
Yes.
And again, we are hearing this. It's really heartbroken.
Yeah, because what we live there, even is that's what you call proxy wars. So in Congo, like even most of the wars in Africa are proxy wars. So like in French, we call it guerre par procuration. So you have a neighboring country or even someone from Congo that is being used to destabilize the country. So this kind of habits need to stop. And then a lot of, even as far as I'm concerned, like Africans as well, they need to really realize what's happening. And you have people who say, oh, what's happening there? It doesn't matter to me because this is Congo. Me, I'm from this place. I'm not from there. But like we have a saying that when your neighbor house is burning, you have to be worried because your house might burn too. Because it's so easy for a fire to just go everywhere. Look at what's happening in California. The fire sometimes starts in one house and then the whole city burns. That's the same way as well. When Congo is burning and bleeding, that's the same way as well. The whole Africa can burn and bleed as well, even the whole world as well. So we need to be very careful when it comes to that, even in terms of being human beings. So this is nothing to do with Africans, or it's nothing to do with being the color of the skin. It's just like from a human point of view as well, that humanity, we need to kind of bring back that humanity into, manifestation. Because,
Thank,
yeah.
thank you so much for that. So when I wake up this morning, and just so I can share with the audience, actually felt it in my heart that it was important to talk about this argument. Like I said, it's not the first time that I'm talking about Congo, but looking at what is happening there, it is on us to continue to talk about it. We might not have the power to change things, but by adding our voices out there, people who want to try and understand what is happening, maybe they might have more data to be able to work with. So I've been able to gather some people who will be available to talk more about the situation. So we really need to add our voice to the conversation. So maybe this is just the beginning of it. We have more people already scheduled for the conversation. So we're going to be having more of it coming up in the coming days.
I look at it as a citizen of, I look at it as an African as well. And as we know, it's not normal that it's only the same region, it's only the same people who are kind of having the same all over and again. And then we need to be asking ourselves the same questions as well, like the right question. Why? And, where, when, and then who benefits from the crime? À qui profite le crime? So all the crimes that's happening, that are happening in Congo, who are actually benefiting from that as well. So yeah, and then we need to kind of bring accountability to ourselves first, because I think, as I was saying, we as Africans, we as Congolese, we need to actually do a self accountability check, and then and from there now move above, and then because it's not normal. Like, people are dying, and women, children, and so it's just the same thing all over and again, and then no one cares. So it's very dangerous to get used to seeing things like that when it suddenly becomes normal, even to the victims. Oh, it's normal. It's just Congo. It's normal. Oh, it's just like that. So that kind of indifference is very toxic, and those are the things that we really need to kind of change that kind of mentality, and then let's bring some humanity to life, because yes, in every conflict you have a solution. So let's kind of bring some humanity to life.
When you talk about responsibility, that becomes very important because it's at the centerpiece of what I do. It is a Congo. I've made reference of it when it comes to also this responsibility, because I remember in 2010, I wrote a book that I titled "Under Development in Africa, My Hands Are Clean." In that book, I try to say that Africa, we need to look for the place where we need to hold ourselves accountable for what is happening to us. I am not saying that the Euro-Westerns are not interested in seeing us bleed, because that is the human nature. If you are incapable of taking care of yourself, the vultures are coming to feed on your carcass. They need to eat. They need to live on you. But it's up to you. If you don't want them to live on you, then stand up and fight. Defend yourself. So the Euro-West are interested in the resources that is under the ground in Africa. We are not going to make them not to be interested, but it is on us to defend what we are. So that is what that book was in 2010. In 2015 again, I did a documentary that I titled Pan-Africanism, Testing Idea on Reality. Even that again, I touched a part of Congo, Rwanda, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, and all these conflicts that have taken place in Africa. And then the question that I was simply asking there was, who is actually benefiting from this conflict? What kind of conflict are we talking about anyway? Who is architecting this war that we are calling civil war? Are there really civil war? Something else is taking place here.
Yeah, it's good to ask those questions. Maybe the first thing is to ask the right question. When you ask the right question, then maybe you're gonna have the right answers as well. Because the problem starts by asking questions. But what kind of question do we ask ourselves? So we need to ask the right questions first of all, and then maybe we're gonna have the right answers. Because because what's happening is not normal. It's not normal, and then it's been going on for many years. From a human side point of view, it's not really normal. So those are the issues that we need to bring up there, and then the world, ourselves, and then the world, we need to see that as well. So, but the accountability part, we need to take responsibilities for failing our states. So that's the normal, because we always like blaming others. Oh, we blame others. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's this. But what about ourselves? So that's one of the things that we need to really be doing to kind of bring ourselves to accountability, our leaders, the civil society as well. So all of us, from all the stage of the society, everybody need to have a shared responsibility for what's happening.
Where exactly are you from in Congo? Let's take a little bit of that
I,
story. Yeah.
yes, I was born in the Republic of Congo. I was born in Pointe Noire. So this like is that's what you can call the small Congo. So the Republic of Congo. I was born in Pointe Noire. Yes, but I have a family like in Kinshasa, Brazzaville, and yes, because the border have been put there for some reasons as well. So some people might say you're from the Belgium Congo. The other guys said that you are from the French Congo, but when you actually see the tribes, my tribe are in Kinshasa, Brazzaville, and even Gabon. So it's kind of the same people when you go into the tribal part of it. But now we have to deal with the fact that now we are countries and separate countries. Yeah, even that. But this doesn't make us less human, and it doesn't justify our attitude towards what's happening. It's not because now I'm from Gabon or I'm from Nigeria, and what's happening in Congo there, I don't care. But you have to know that it's the same continent. What's happening in Congo affects you as well in one way or the other. So we need to learn from events like some very bad events have happened. Like we've got wars and wars and wars and wars. But what do we really learn from the past events so that we move to a very certain future? And that's the question that we need to ask as well.
As you were growing up in Congo, what do you see around you? I want you to give us a picture of Congo in your youth.
You might be from the south or north, you might be from this tribe and that tribe. We all were growing up like very, very, very in a kind of less toxic environment. And then 1993 and 1997, we had even a civil war in 1997 in the Republic of Congo, and then a lot of people died. So even that war, it was put out as if people from the south wanted to kill people from the north. So it became a kind of a tribal war. But when you look at it properly, looking back now, we can see that actually we fought for interest of countries that are not even, foreign countries, foreign interests for oil. So you could actually see, so the war was because of oil. So that growing up now, when I look at that, so basically, so our parents, they fought for oil. And then the oil, who benefit oil is France, of course, with Total and things. So you just see that, whatever we're fighting, sometimes it's not even for our own interest. It's because of someone that gave us a procurement. Like that's what you can call a proxy war. So that's just my own analytic of things. And yeah, so now growing up now, I'm asking questions. Okay, was that right? Okay, why did they do that? Okay, why? So you're asking yourself the right question, and then you get the answer. So sometimes the truth hurts, but a lot of people just want to live into like lies. And just because sometimes I challenge friends, I said, just because your dad fought like that and said that, it doesn't mean that it's a real thing. Just because, so you need to ask yourself the right questions as well. But like myself, when I asked my dad, how did I grow up when he was still alive? Because he passed away last year. My dad was telling me that they had the first time they started experiencing peace was in 1974. Imagine. So that's after the independence. We had the independence in the 60s. And then he said to me, it's only maybe around 1974 that they could actually say that, okay, we are at peace. So what I mean by that, we are not running away from, from wherever. So yeah, and our parents as well, they don't really share the experience, the way they grew up. Some of them have some kind of, I don't know, they don't want to talk about the past. So they will just tell you, okay, it's the past now, or a lot of us will go into maybe religion to say, oh, God will do. So you're going to find it very challenging when you're asking our parents, okay, how did you grow up? How was it before colonization? This and that. They don't really share, even after the colonization as well. When you ask them, okay, how did you grow up after the colonization? They find it very difficult to communicate. But I was lucky because my dad started communicating and then started kind of declassifying some certain things. And then basically when you share it, it's a very, you see like those guys as well, they went through a lot. So yeah.
Yes, all right.
So
yes, all right. They went through a lot, and I've interviewed a lot of psychologists here. The pain that is hidden, which then sort of become transferred to the children, that what the parents have suffered, whether you know it or not, is going to be passed on to the children. If the parents do not heal themselves, the children are going to suffer that, which is to say, all the torture that is going on in Congo today is going to be passed on to the future Congolese people, which is to say that if we are not healing it now, we are still going to face it tomorrow, because nobody escaped the past. Nobody escaped the past. It will always come back. It will always, because, okay, when you look at it from the point of view of African spirituality, again, we'll go back to Congo, because Congo become also very important in this area, which is to say, you can't hide. There is nowhere to, you are almost transparent. So anything you do, you are printing it in the air.
It's like a computer. It's a tool. So spirituality, I see it more like a tool because it's science. Even me, I don't really like using the term spirituality because it brings back to a more religious and holistic thing, while it's actually science, pure science, when you really look at it properly. And then when you really look at it from a scientific point of view, because those are people who have experiments. So they have done it. They have had experiences with that to say, okay, this now is working. It's just like when you program a computer, you program a tool. Like now we have AI. So when you can program your AI, your AI tool to do a certain thing. So this is, this is the closest thing to African spirituality, if you can call it like that. So that's the way I see that.
I've interviewed an expert here, because here I'm very privileged to have talked to a lot of people. Over 1,000 people have been interviewed in this podcast. And I'm just
it's a privilege for me as well to be there.
So I was interviewing this AI expert in the US, but he's from Nigeria. And they were telling me about the Afa language system in Africa.
Exactly.
And he was saying that it's a pure science. It is not spiritual. It's not in the sense of magic. And when it breaks it down for you, you begin to, but how come we never understand it like this?
That's the Fa language. Yeah, the Fa is based on its pure science. Even people from Benin, you see the Benin, the country,
the Republic of Benin,
the Republic of Benin, because their Vodou is very. So one time I saw some Vodou priests there. They were bringing up. They said that they really need to kind of maybe do some kind of high intellectual property, because the system WhatsApp uses and a lot of those computers is actually based on Fa. Like what they use, what we call it juju, we call it gris-gris, we call it black magic. So we always put dark names on our thing. While when you look at it from a scientific point of view, it's pure science that actually, if applied properly, you can use that to actually create. Look at We live in a way, we have a computer, now we have AI tool, but this is the same thing. So if you go to a priest that's never been to university, like an African priest that has never been to university, who has never read a book, he doesn't know how to read. And then when you go, you have to take science, like you take maybe an IT guy or a science guy. And then when you explain how maybe AI works, it's gonna explain it to you better than you. And then it's gonna give you the real thing beyond that. So this is the beauty of our culture and then our science as well, that we always neglect that.
And I will just
Yeah.
add something to that, then we'll move on. Because I really find it very fascinating. Now, there is an expert of spirituality from Congo. When he talked about African spirituality, he will say like this: African spirituality is a pure science.
Yeah,
It's
science.
a pure science that we need to understand it, because anything you do not understand, you think that it is magic. But when you understand, it's no longer magic. We need to
Yeah.
understand ourselves. Anyway.
Yes, it's like when some sacred objects. So like sometimes like me in my tribe, I'm a Teke, so we have some kind of those statues, like the small statues, like those small mask or something. But those are actually a tool. Some of them, those objects were like tools to serve a certain role, just like when you have your mobile phone, just like when you have your computer. So it's actually a tool, a scientific tool. And then beyond that, there's a scientific process beyond all that as well. But you know what? I say to people, you cannot say something until you have experienced that. So it's all about experiment. Even people in the lab, like what do scientific do? Before you can come out and say that, okay, I've done that. They go in the lab, they do experiment, and they do that. Maybe some people spend 25 years before they can come up with something. They will tell you, oh, we spend 10 billions on that project, and then just to come with a simple thing, they will spend a lot of money, resources, and then time as well, and then experiment. So if you really want to understand something, you need to go in there and then experiment there, and then after you have done that, then you can. It's only the people who have been initiated who can come and talk about something. But when we talk about African spirituality, they have not even that. So some of them, they go and read a book. No, that's not that. Actually, initiation is a key important thing, because the reason why you have to be initiated is just like you cannot go today and they will put you in a lab in the UK to go and make a nuclear power. No, you need to be accredited, and then you need to pass through the process. Even when you get the right accreditation, you still have to be checked, and then they do so many things before you can even be employed in certain institution. You have to go through a lot of things. It's like if you want to work maybe for the home office here, the immigration, they do a lot of credit background check. They check you, they check your certificate, they check everything. They even go, if you are from Congo, they will go and check your village. But it's the same thing as well when it comes to certain things, like even African spirituality, like the African science. Me, I call it science. You cannot just criticize if you have not experienced that. You have not been to school. And some people, they will go to Africa for one day, and then they say, oh, I want to see that guy, I'm initiated. No, you cannot be. It's like when you do karate. You don't do karate and then stop a white belt. You have levels. It's like when you are a scientific professor, every day you need to educate yourself. You need to improve yourself. It's the same scientific thing with African spirituality as well. You've got levels. So to be initiated is not a process, but it's a lifetime thing. It's science, and then you progress as well. Like it's like that.
Thank you so much, Ame. That is a beautiful name. Anyway, we'll come back to the name later. Maybe you will have time to explain it to us. You see, what you are saying is fundamentally important. Dr. Ben, may his soul rest in peace, will say Dr. Ben is a famous historian, a famous African American historian.
Yes, I know that.
And he will say the West have no business teaching African history. And this is exactly what you're saying, because how can you teach something you don't know? They don't know African history. Play simple. Because history is no figure. I'm not telling you to quote date for me. I want you to tell me from the feeling. How can you feel my sorrow if you are the one pointing a needle in my flesh? You can feel it. Now, somebody is living in Rome, in Paris, in New York. He has never lived in Africa. He is an expert on African spirituality, on African history. Whereas Africans said that you need to take this as a way of life. You don't need to go to school to study it. You live it. It's life.
I've got something to share with you.
Please,
What you're telling is
please.
100% true. I have a colleague. I used to work with someone, someone that I know, and then she's very interested into Africa. She said she loves Africa, so she wrote a book about Africa. So before writing the book, she came to me. Oh, can you share my experience? Of Africa. I said to her, listen, I'm not blessed. I grew up in the West, even when I was born in Congo. So I was raised like a Westerner. I speak French, so I'm not the correct person to tell you about Africa, even though I live in Africa, but I live in a town. So, and then I watch the TV shows that I watch is just like the same TV shows that you watch here. So for me, it's going to be like a fraud. So no, I'm not going to help you with that. But you know what? After that, she wrote a book. She's never set foot, like she's never been to Africa, but she actually has a book. And then, tomorrow now, because she's a European, maybe a book will be read in even African people will buy a book to even find about themselves as well.
It's a fraud. It's a fraud. That's the right word there.
That's the thing. So yeah, but unfortunately, like for me, if I come to England, I will never say, oh, I know I've lived, I will go to the English people. I will find out from them, okay, this, and then I will travel. I will find about the story. Oh, how is it? That's what I do. I go to museums, I'm there. It's only after that now that I can come and say, according to, and then I'll quote, okay, this is what I've learned from these people, and that's it. I'm not going to be sitting down in Kinshasa or Lagos and then say, oh, how this is how Chinese are living. But I've never been to China. Maybe the Chinese people that I see in Lagos, sometimes they are not even from China. Maybe they are from another Asian country. But I'm just going to assume that. So this is dangerous when you start doing things like that, because it's very misleading. Because maybe in 200 years or 300 years, your work will be there, and then you will be seen as like a scientist, while the book is just full of BS. So that's it's something as well, which is why we need to bring in, like I always tell people, we need to kind of ask questions. Critical thinking is key to everything. That's what we need to teach our kids. Critical thinking is very important. Critical thinking. We need to stop following things religiously, in a religious way, because this is dangerous. It's very dangerous, especially right now. Look at right now with AI, with the deep fake. I can take your video today, no, your picture, and then I can create a video of you saying certain things while you haven't said that, and kind of say, oh, look at what is done. And then a country can go to war like that. Oh, look at what this guy has done. So if you act with emotion, it's very dangerous. So you need to, critical thinking is key, especially in this day and age where information is quick like that. And then information, sometimes you don't know what is right or what is wrong. And then especially with those AI tools, you can just create a fake news. Even now we've seen with big media, like some of the biggest media out there, I'm not going to call the names, have been putting fake news there, fake things about certain things. So you see the danger to that is, as we as Africans, we need to be asking ourselves critical question, have a critical thinking approach to everything that comes. We need to challenge everything.
You were making mention of airline claim and all of that, and you say you find this particular niche in that a lot of Africans they travel, but they don't claim most of those things. No, could you please expand on that more, because that is very important now for many people in the diaspora.
Diaspora or abroad as well, so even worldwide. Basically, you have right as a passenger. So airlines, you have convention. It's like for baggage claim, we can use the Montreal Convention or the Varsovie Convention. And then you have as well in Europe, we've got what we call EC 261 or UK 261 for Britain, 261 for Britain, since we had Brexit. So in terms of claim, like of delay, cancellation, or denied boarding, or misconnection, you may be entitled to certain type of compensation. And then in Canada as well, you've got what we call the Canadian aviation laws. You have one for Israel. So different countries, even in Brazil, have got their own. So me, my background, I used to work for one of the biggest airlines out there. I'm not gonna name name them, but I was working only in claims. So this is how I got into business. I was the guy that when you make a claim, or if a lawyer makes a claim, or if a civil aviation authority is enforcing a claim, I was to be the one protecting the airlines. So I would say, no, I'm not paying for that. You don't have that. You don't have that. So a kind of revenue protector. And then when COVID started and we lost our job, so I got the sack on Zoom like that, you and me. And then after that, like a lot of people booked their ticket, and the airline said to them, the flight is canceled, we're not refunding you. So the best thing they could do for them was to give them maybe a voucher that they can use for future travel. While I know that no, they should refund. So I was helping people claim refunds, especially one lady. She came to me, and then because of referral, one of my friends, that's his sister-in-law, so she came to me for help. So basically, I helped her. Before she came to me, she tried all the avenues. She went to even Citizen Bureau Advice, which is a government, they help out when you have such issues. They told her we can't do anything. So I claimed back, and then she got a refund, and then I even got a compensation on top of that. So, and then I've been helping. One day I helped a Congolese family. They were going to Kinshasa, and then their bag was delayed, and then one was lost. So I managed to claim them some sort of money, a lot of money. That was maybe £6,000 that they managed to get us a compensation refund, and So one day someone told me, "But you are good at it. Why don't you do that as a business?" This is how I got into. I got the name Getiback. So Getiback. So I created Getiback.com, and then this is where I am now. So just been helping people, especially most of the clients that I have are people who try to claim for years, and then the airline couldn't give them, so they come to me, and then I help them out. So right now I'm helping a disabled African woman from Cameroon. There's one of those airlines, they lost their bag, but they don't want to compensate her, so I'm helping her out. Hopefully I'm going to get her compensation. And then I've got a lot of case studies. I've helped people. Yeah, the thing is, even the big airlines that you will expect them to have a proper kind of procedures and code of conduct, but you'll be amazed that some of them, they just, it doesn't matter the size of the airline And what people need to understand, those are your rights as well. So it's not based on the price of your ticket. It's not based on who booked the ticket. It's for passengers' rights. So even though you don't get a compensation, but if you, for instance, you have to get a hotel, you have to get a taxi because of a delay or cancellation from the airline, or you have to buy food, the airline will cover those reasonable expenses, provided that you have the correct receipt. So I'll give you another example that's happening in the diaspora. So for me, I'm going on holiday. I go to Lagos on holiday, or maybe on a business trip or holiday. My bag is lost. When I'm in Lagos, I can go and buy clothes and stuff. So it's called first necessity expenses. And then I come back to the airline, and they have to, with the correct receipt to prove expensive. I'm not going to go and buy maybe, you buy first necessity expenses, so my clothes and, a towel, maybe a perfume, things that are really important that you need. So you claim those expenses back. But I've got people who have experienced those kind of issues, but they don't claim. Even when you tell them, let me claim for you, like one day someone told me that, claiming is no good because the person, apparently she's a Christian. So she went on holiday, and then her case was different because they stole something from her bag. So she called me and I said, well, you have to claim because you are covered by this convention, this law. And she said, no, it's not. It's against probably Christian values or something like that. So so that mentality need to like Africans need to start now claiming for their rights. It starts small with things like that. You have rights, and then you need to enforce your rights as well. So we are there to help people. So if you can't do it yourself, we help you out. We even guide you because you really need to know as well. Like you have time scale, you have a statute of limitation. So when you have a baggage claim, if you go somewhere, you notice that your bag is damaged, go to the airline and ask them for a report. It's called peer property irregularity report. They have to give it to you. If they don't give it to you, write to them. You have 7 days to write to them, send pictures and stuff. Because when we take them to the tribunal or somewhere, those are the things that we have to fulfill before, in order for us to have a successful claim. So for expenses, you have 21 days to claim for expenses related to a delayed baggage. So yeah, things like that. So this is where we come in. I will share something with you. Last year, I went to the World Travel Market, and I was with the West African. I went to the, like it's one of the biggest travel events in the world. So you have all the countries. So you have the West African Travel Tourism and Travel Association who come as well. So I went to the stand of Sierra Leone, and then I pitched my services. I said, I help this and that. Do you know that everyone there had a bag that was lost by an airline? And then how long? Oh, it's been 4 years, some 2 years. Have you recovered the bag? No. I know so many people who have their bag lost, but they don't even get, even sometimes an apology, they don't get it. But up until today, their bag is lost. So the challenging thing is like when you try to tell them, listen, let me help you claim, let me direct you, but we don't have that mentality of actually enforcing the claim process, like having our rights, fighting for our rights. So that's it's not really into our mindset, and this is what
More like how the process even work from the point of view of the airline. So the airline know that this rule states that if I am your client by virtue of okay, I bought a ticket from your company, or also I'm taking a flight that is controlled by this by your company, and I lose something there that you are supposed to pay me. This is the right thing to do, no? Both morally and legally.
there's no such thing as moral
There is nothing.
in
Oh.
business.
so
In business,
okay, yeah, please go. Help me.
My background, as I said to you, I used to work for an airline, and one of the biggest out there, and then for many years in claims. My job was to handle claims. I can tell you that back in the days, if a passenger is claiming, if he didn't mention the correct legislation that he want to claim on, we used to be advised not to give them anything. Just apologies. If you are lucky, maybe we give you a voucher. So what we've seen, because of claims management agencies like the one I've created, because of that, they put the pressure on airlines. So actually, what we have noticed that because of claiming, because of those kind of because claim manager has seen airline as they don't love claim management agency. Even some customers as well, they don't really love claims management agency. But because of the services that we provide to our client, airlines proactively now, some of them now proactively start off even on their website now. The small print, they can put it there or this and that. Some, they might even tell you, okay, when you claim, they might even give you a compensation proactively so that they will just but it's because of what we're doing, the pressure that claims management agencies have done. But even coming to that as well, sometimes they don't really do, they don't care. Even as a claims manager, I found it challenging myself to chase and chase. And there's a few airlines out there where the only way I can have success is by going to court. That's how bad it is you actually have to take them to court because they know statute of limitation, they know the rules, They know that, okay, have 2 years to claim for a baggage incident. For instance, in the UK, you have 2 years to finalize that claim, or to take them. You have 2 years to take them to court. So yeah, so they know that. So they capitalize on that. They use those kind of skills and tools to just not pay out.
All right. I have another question. I am a traveler. I booked a trip from, say, London to Paris. The airline knew that I booked my flight from London to Paris. Now, this airline moving from London to Paris, when they got to Paris, they found maybe there were 20 people in the flight, 20 luggages. Now, maybe all the people went out, nobody complained that they lost any luggage, but the airline found 2 luggages. You mean to tell me that they don't know how to retrace the people that left luggages there? They don't know who owns it. Or they just claim me that, okay, it is our own, we can do whatever we like with it. Is it possible for them to find the owner and give it back to them? Why is it like that? Yeah.
It's possible for them to find the owner and then give it back to them. But because your baggage tag, you see the tag when you check in your bag, the tag they put have all your information. So, but what happens is that sometimes it's your responsibility as a passenger to collect your baggage. But it happens when if you just leave your bag like that, you go, they might put that in the maybe lost property, I think, or at the airport. Now it becomes the airport, but they can find you with your baggage tag. They have all your information, the information that you provided when you book, like when you checked in. So you have your passport number, telephone. They have all those information, even your address now as well. So yeah, they can find you, but if they don't, then it's for you now to that would be more like a delayed bag. You wait for your bag, it doesn't come. Then you have to approach your airline. They need to give you a reference. So it's called PIR as well, property irregularity report. That's for delayed bag, and then you kind of make that. I hope that answers your question. But definitely with your baggage.
Let's break the question down again. You see, where the question is coming from is that, you see, nobody can say, oh, I forgot my child in the bus. It never happens, no? Because you pack your luggage with something inside them. If you don't find your luggage where you are going to suffer. I don't know if there is anybody that have ever traveled and you didn't find your luggage. There is no person in his right mind who will not ask for it, who will not go somewhere, ask, and they'll be tossing the person all around. That is why I'm even asking, assuming people didn't even ask. I'm having this kind of, you say you went to this Sierra Leonean stand in the fair. Everybody have this happen to them. Did they tell you that they just went down for the airline? Oh, they were happy. Oh, they didn't find their luggage. Oh, I didn't need it anymore. Was it like that, or
no? They went. They say basically with them. They went to claim to the airline. They even give them a report, and they chase the airline. But the problem is the airline doesn't respond to them. The airline doesn't really care. So this is very common. So the claim process is difficult. They make the claim process difficult. But we specific for those people, they actually try to claim. And then, you get tired. You see, the life is busy. You've got this, you've got that. So when you try to claim, and then, now, if you call a customer service now, so they tell you press 1. You speak to a computer, press 1, 2, press 1, 2. By the time you speak to someone, they will tell you, oh, this is not our service because we are only reservation. Because you cannot really speak to aftercare sometimes. So it's, they will tell you, okay, let me give you a number. Okay, bye. So, and then people give up. But I'm going to share you something with you. One of my sister, she arrived, she from Casablanca, and then she was going to Manchester. So when she arrived at Manchester airport, she did not see her baggage, but she just left the airport like that. But I said to her, did you get anything? No. Did you buy? Did you write to the airline? No. So she only came to me after 2 years. But I said, I cannot help you because I need to have some certain things to start the thing. The first thing you do when you don't have a baggage, you reach out your airline. Say, where is my baggage? and then maybe they will give you something, because you have to know as well, some airport, you don't really have a physical presence there. So maybe if you land at 3 a.m. in a certain small airport in so small city, when you reach there, you might not be able to see your baggage. So what you do is for you now to contact the airline as soon as possible. On the same day, go on the website, write to them and call them. I landed this day, I did not see my baggage. Can you give me a reference number and something? Then this is where now we can start the claim process, and then maybe we can track the baggage. I've got people who have helped get a compensation for baggage, lost baggage. We settle with the airline, and then I carry on tracking it on World Tracer. World Tracer is the baggage system tool that we use. Even most of the airline now, they have that in the. If you go on their website, you can track your baggage if you have the correct peer. So they found the bag 5 months after, and then because they had the address and everything, they went to deliver that to the house after 4 months or 5 months. But while you already settled, you already got a compensation as per the correct legislation. He got this bag 4 months after. So yeah, because most of the time, baggage sometimes they don't fly with you. It doesn't mean that you are going on this flight that your bag will follow you. Sometimes the baggage come on a different flight. You have to know that airlines as well, most of the airlines, their biggest revenue is cargo. So they do a lot of cargo. So goods and the transport of goods. It's a bit like GHL is an airline, and all those big carrier companies, they are airlines. DHL is an airline. All of them are airlines. But the thing is, the difference, they don't passengers airline, they are into cargo, which is one of the stuff, sometimes small and medium businesses as well claim for the cargo damage. You see, like we have a lot of African shops here, and then I have a lot of clients that have helped with baggage claim, and then they come back to me because they have a small businesses, they have imported food from Africa, and then the food arrived damaged, and sometimes they don't have insurance. So what I try to do, I try to claim based on the same principle, the same laws as well, claim for things. So that's what I do as well with small and medium businesses who are important. Yeah.
I really appreciate what you're doing. Your service is really of huge importance for the fact that we are travelers. No, I'm from Nigeria, but I live here. I'm a traveler. I'm here. So we have people that are traveling all the time. We need experts like you in the community, people who can show other people how to find their way around, how to claim what is right, what is rightful yours.
Exactly.
Because this airline, they're not going to give it to you. They know that they're supposed to
They
give
are
it
not
to
going to
you.
give it. Yes. And then apart from airlines, airline is one of them. But because I found airline more is because the airline is an established business. So you would expect them to be like, if you want to take them to court, you take them to court. But now we have the rise of a lot of independent, like a lot of travel agents. I have clients who turn up at the airport and then their ticket is not valid. So, you book your holiday and then you spend money on your holiday. So the day now you're traveling, there's no book. The airline is telling you, we don't know you. Why? Because the travel agent did not really actually create a confirmed ticket. Or you have people, they book a villa on booking.com, they travel as well. They turn up, there's no house, there's no hotel. Or the hotel sometimes doesn't know about the reservation. So I even wrote a small blog, I blogged about that, how to travel like a pro. And so I'm giving tips on how to avoid travel disappointment. So when you book via a travel agent, maybe hotel, if you book via a third party, when you've got your confirmation, it's always good to call the airline. Do you have me? I've just booked that. I want to confirm if you have me. This is the booking number. It's always good to call the hotel where you're going, the resort. This is me. This is the booking. Can you confirm this? Is that because I booked via a third party? And then when you've got the assurance from those companies, like the hotel or airline, that okay, it's fine, we have you on board, and then you have to cross-check the name as well. This is the name, is it like that? Then you are fine. Because if you just leave it to someone else, because mistake happens sometimes. They don't generate it, and this happens even with big travel agencies like Booking or platform like Opodo as well. It happens like that. I've helped out someone last time. He booked holiday with his kids, a single father with his two young children. They were going to Turkey. So when they got there, the hotel was not that. It was all dumpy and things. This is not what he saw on the website. And then they tried to get him more money there, so he couldn't stand it. Pay. So the small money that he had reserved to celebrate, because that was his son's birthday, he had to go and look at a proper hotel again to spend time with his family. So I helped him claim back. Opodo wouldn't want to pay, and then finally I escalated it, and then they got him a refund, full refund. But I have to use another institution so that they will, they enforce it, the refund for that. So those are the things that we see all the time.
Because you know where to hit the button, you know who to call, where to
exactly
how to navigate it, no?
How to navigate, exactly. That's the correct name, how to navigate it, because it's a process.
All right.
And sometimes people ask me, it's how long takes the claim? That's a very thing. How long? It depends. It can take 2 years.
All right.
It can take 1 minute. It depends on the airlines.
Thank you so much, Amen. Now, how can people find you, those who want to learn more about this, your service? Because I think it's particularly important.
Yeah, I've got a website, so www.getiback.com. So it's G for golf, E for echo, T for Tango, I for indigo, B for Bravo, ACK.com. So that's I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram as well, and I'm on Facebook. Yeah, I'm on social media and then online. So people, wherever wanna approach me, it's a no win no fee. And then that one of the thing as well, I only get a percentage after I've won my case. We cover all the fees, going to court and doing things. So that's that's one of the key parts. So basically, just leave it with us. When the money comes, then we share the money. And yes, that's the thing. And I even have an affiliation program. So for whoever it knows that if you know someone for referral, like if you refer and then when we get the money, I give a referral fees to my affiliated program. So that's one of the things I do as well. And then I really need to come to Nigeria because I've got I really need to be more like I wanna go to Nigeria to do my work there. Yes, because Nigeria is a massive. Nigeria has got a lot of airlines, and then Nigerians travel a lot, and then Nigerians have a lot of travel issues as well. So I want to come there as well, and then to kind of work. And one of the things as well I want to mention, I want to talk about the local aviation. You see, this is a big problem because Africans in Africa, they have no rights when it comes to consumers' rights. And because my background is in the airline, I would like to work with civil aviation authorities there to kind of bring accountability to airlines to respect passengers' rights, because I'm going to talk about Congo. You might book your ticket in Congo. You're traveling maybe the next day at 12. When you go to the airport, they tell you, no, the plane is full because they put some gas there, and then that frustration is true. And then the airlines are not being held accountable for those kind of things. So if you can get those kind of laws back on the continent, this will bring money to the country. This will make airlines update and upgrade as well, so people can travel free and safe within their own country. Because the most annoying thing is to feel like a prisoner in your own country, to be treated like a no man's land in your own country. So this is what I want to come and do with the African aviation authorities, to kind of use the skills I have and then to make it better. And then some airlines some aircraft as well should not even be operating in Africa. So to bring a standard to certain things.
Thank you so much for that. No. That is something that we can really come up again to talk about. Definitely, we should be able to do
Yes,
that again. That is really
yes,
an
please.
interesting
Yeah,
conversation. So, how would you like to
yes,
conclude
yes,
it?
please.
I mean, this really have been really very enticing as a
Yeah.
topic. Yeah.
So yeah, you know what? Thank you. I just want to give thanks to you for and to your audience as well for allowing me to come to this wonderful podcast. And then hopefully I'm gonna come again more. And yes, and I just tell my fellow Africans that it's about time now we start taking our destiny within our own hands. And then the solution will not come from, I want to say that, but the solution doesn't come from above. The solution doesn't come from the west or east. The solution should be coming from ourselves. We need to transform ourselves as Africans, as human beings. We need to transform ourselves. We need to change the attitude, the way we see things. We need to have critical thinking. We need to work toward that. Self-development is very key, because people tell me sometimes, oh, you're from Congo, oh, it's a rich country, it's a big country. I always tell them that a country is rich because of its human resources. Because when the human resources are not good, you cannot call yourself rich. So we need to invest in human capital, human resources in our kids. So maybe we might be, maybe, if we recognize that, oh, for me, some people say, oh, for me it's too late, but what about the kids? We need to have that question, those conversations to transform ourselves, human resources. We need proper Africans with good values and ethic as well.
Thank you so
That
much for
this is
that. That is such a good advice. I appreciate that. I really do.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.